Hello everyone. Phoenix61 here with your daily dose of World of Warships Legends shenanigans. We are rocking the Takahashi. Fast forward just a couple of seconds there in the beginning, because I'm going to showcase two games in this ship today for us. As a lot of you know, if you've been watching my channel, this is becoming one of my favorite ships at the moment. So we play it quite a bit. But yes, this is the zoning torpedo king of a ship here, where you just get, two launchers of 4 on each side, so 16 torpedoes. And we've done pretty much a meme torpedo build when it comes to the loadout for the ship, for the mods, and the commander. So I will go through that at the end of the video for us here today. But yeah, so we've got some torps already on the way. We can see smokescreen out there. Looks like a destroyer smoked because he didn't like being spotted by our allied airplanes, right? So, but with that, we know at least where ships are going to be popping up, so that is always nice when the carrier gets those spots early on. We'll take a cheap shot at this Awami as we're about to duck behind this island here, so we could be able to get 1 or 2 salvos off and then go undetected again as well. Works perfectly. Although we do a whole lot of nothing when it comes to damage, but in this one you'd really want to be triggering fires as much as you could, right? But it's not too much about the shell damage, at least the way that I've got it built. And we see a Picardy out there. That ship was recently in tests. I'm not sure when or if it's going to be available to the masses right after that, but almost get a hit on the Awami there. We did get 1 torpedo hit on him previously. It would have been really nice to have another one. And then yeah, we're just keeping an eye on where these guys are headed and where they're going, and kind of, you do have to, with how long the range is on these torpedoes, you do have to make predictions on where people might go versus where they are currently going, right? Like, it takes a hot minute for those torpedoes to get there, right? Even at 8.5 kilometers away, right? It's almost a full minute before those torpedoes would connect if he were to stay on course, right? So, yeah. But yeah, we'll take cheap shots here and there as we kind of kite away. This works pretty good with this ship. I kind of prefer the open water, and trying to just keep an eye on what ships are potentially shooting at you and whatnot, right? And so just, duck and weave as best you can. I have concealment built into it pretty good, so if we need to, if we're moving away, we can always just stop firing our guns and then hopefully go undetected. But yeah, Picardy takes a decent shot at us. Looks like we are going to get at least 1 torpedo hit on him there. And that triggered the flood, so that'll force the damage con on him. And yeah, 2 torpedo hits has us up over 30,000 damage, right? A few shell hits too, but right, like, so this is where it's at. 2 more on the Awami B. That's going to hurt him quite a bit. I think that might be, are we going to get a flood on him? No. I think we've got a flood going. We must have the flood going on the Picardy, I think, yeah. So we'll see if we can trigger fire on the Awami now, since we're certain he has used his damage control. So a fire would be a nice permanent addition to that. He is paying attention to somebody else, and I don't know if the Picardy is even able to shoot at us now at this point. Get another 2 hits on him, but yeah, he ducks behind. Somebody else is going to be able to finish him off. That's fine. He's dead. We'll get the fist medal. So, just going to take a guess, like, right, this Picardy is probably going to cut in. Like, that's kind of what I would do, right? I wouldn't keep going wide, but, you do you. And then there is a cruiser hanging out in the, like, middle epicenter area, right? So I was kind of trying to eyeball him up if I would be able to send torpedoes through there, but we would have to move up a little bit here first. So we'll send the torps on the starboard side, that right side of the ship, and then we'll get positioned so we can send the ones on the left. And this is what I do a lot with this ship, right, is drive around in circles so that I can send torpedoes from both sides. But yeah, here's where I was talking. I could see on the mini-map, I can see that cruiser hanging out right behind that island in the center of the epicenter. So I was kind of hoping we could either get some torpedoes through there to either hit him or flush him out, and then that would make him vulnerable to whatever battleships are on our team that are in the area, right? So got those on the way. And then, yeah, it's already only another 20 seconds before the starboard side's ready to launch as well, right? So, like I said, we've built into the torpedoes as much as we possibly could, and so we've left the guns kind of lacking, right, in this scenario. So this is rough when, like, you know, games like this are great, but these are, you know, the kind of a rarity, right, to get games like this where you're getting lots of torpedo hits. We only have 4, right? But, like, this is one of those ships where, like, if I'm not getting torpedo hits with it throughout the game, then the game becomes really, really underwhelming, right? So we have a lot of games in this ship where we only get like 1 or none at all, right? And we're relying on, you know, our XP numbers to be, you know, main battery focused and capping zones and stuff like that, right? So keep that in mind, right? This isn't every game that we get games like this, right? And we have another good one right after this. We're actually managed to pop the Kraken. So we will review that one as well. This one ends up being kind of short because what happens here is, you know, now that we've got the battleship threat on this side eliminated, that's allowing us to kind of push in. Since we are a cruiser, we've got lots of guns that reload fairly quickly, and we've also got sonar, right? We're going to do our duty here and now try and push in and hopefully be able to hunt down the destroyers that have been getting the zones capped and stuff like that, right? So technically losing this game, right? Because we've got, you know, even though we've killed one more ship than theirs, that double fire is nice there. Even though we've destroyed one more ship than they've had the zones, right? And they've been earning points on these zones. And then, yep, those zoning torpedoes are going right for that Shrouder, so we get that kill there. But yeah, it's just this long, like, right? Like, those torpedoes took forever, right? So you just have to assume somebody's going to be coming through there or he's going to remain on course, right? So finally getting into the epicenter zones so we can start holding back their points here as we progress forward. And then, of course, now we are spotted, right? So we know somebody's in you know, within that 9.5 kilometer spotting range for us. So that I'm going to guess that that's a... They could probably send torpedoes towards us, right? Especially if we're moving towards them. And so I'm going to start sending zoning torps, and then I'm also going to trip the sonar so that if we see, you know, we get that early detection of torpedoes coming at us, right? And then we do have the anti-air consumable equipped for this ship. I highly recommend. It works great, so when we do get in a carrier game, we're able to pretty much take out full squadrons, right? So he's going to get this one run at us, and that's going to be it for him. And we'll just keep sending torps as they get loaded, because they load quickly. Alright, almost to the middle here. We're undetected now, so somebody's being sneaky around between islands here. Our sonar is about to run out, though. We only get a minute on this sonar, which is a little bit of a disappointment, but it is what it is. We'll deal with it. Alright, and spotted again. So yeah, he's coming between islands somewhere over here. Or at least the one that's nearest us. And then we're located as well. Oh yeah, and if you didn't notice, we do have a destroyer on my team that hasn't moved yet, so... I do love me some games where we're at a disadvantage right off the bat, right? And that was like my flank too, like he spawned at my, you know, off to the left side with me too. Yep, I'm in the zone, buddy, I'm going for it. Yep, so we know all 3 of these zones are contested, right? So we know there's at least one destroyer in here with us in this middle area. So we will keep pushing through. We'll turn in towards those torps to dodge that last one. And I'm just taking guesses and sending torpedoes, right? So we see the blackout here, so he's the one with the radar. Looks like somebody might be finishing him off soon. If he gets picked up, we will help with him. Nope, he's done. Okay. And then there's one remaining battleship out off in that direction as well, so I'm just sending the torpedoes that way. I doubt they'll do anything, right? But half the time with this ship, it's getting the lucky hits, right? Yeah, so it's a Navarin. So I don't know, maybe if he turns in this way to try and fight for the zone, we could send some torpedoes through here. Ooh, and then, ooh, we get, ooh, hello, Smallland. So he made a mistake, didn't get away quick enough, and we're going to get him with a torpedo, so that gives us a dev strike there. Second kill for the game. And puts us over 128,000 damage. And we're going to get all 3 zone caps now too as well. So I am going to fast forward through the rest of this game because it is a little bit uneventful at this point. We'll get the zone caps and then we dodge some airplane attacks. And then somebody else manages to finish off the battleship. So at this point it turned into a trying to chase down the carrier who is... we made a good guess here, right? Just based on where the planes are coming. I'm going to head up this, this way. I'm guessing he's off that back there behind one of these islands over here. Way off to the side. So yeah, we're just taking the guess. So the carrier, like I see our carrier going all the way north thinking he backed up into the back of the map, which is a common thing, right? But I called out the other corner over here where I'm suspecting that he is. So either off behind one of these islands over here. And then we end up running, since we capped those zones, right, with Epicenter, the points tick up pretty quick when you've got all 3 zones. So we end up winning on well, we're out of time as well. I don't remember what happens. Everything's happening so fast, right? So we get a whole 20 seconds to shoot at him, and yeah, we end up winning on, what was that? We won on points. So we'll take a quick look at the leaderboard for this one. Yeah, your team reached maximum points. That did put us at the top with 3,500 XP, right? So it's not all about kills, right? I think a lot of that came from the solo capturing of the 3 zones, right? I think we had minimal help there. And then, yeah, we're going to go into another Takahashi game right away, and at the end of this one, I'll do my typical commander and loadout review at the end. But yeah, same kind of strategy here, right? I'm sending torpedoes. I kind of love these maps here where you really... a high probability that somebody is going to be coming into the zone through these like channels right between these islands. So this is some of my favorite spawning points for this ship, right? And then yeah, we're a little bit broadside, which is a little bit dangerous, right? As we get spotted here, lots of battleships. So luckily it's a Michelangelo and he doesn't do too much to us. And then yeah, we get a torpedo hit on something. Oh, we got a destroyer already dead. There we go. Schonberg. It's somebody picked up the new campaign ship and died right away. So my apologies, sir. you are the first sacrifice here. Yeah, 2 torps took him down, and that's a pretty beefy, health pool for a destroyer as well. So yeah, 24,000 damage out of him. And then yeah, you can see more torpedoes coming through the zone here. Or going through towards the Scharnhorst, so we may get one on him. He may be at just that range, depending on how and when we fired them. Nope, we get a hit on him as well. Triggered the flood, but he put that out right away. What's nice too is a lot of times people don't realize they're coming from me. They think there's a destroyer out there somewhere too. So a lot of times you'll see when you're dumping these zoning torps through, you'll see people move away, right? Like you'll see people move away from the zone, and so if you do yourself have a destroyer on your team, capping the zone, right? Like you end up giving them free reign for the zone, right? Because people just like run in fear of the bajillions of torpedoes that you're sending through, right? So I'll try and reposition a little bit. I'm going to guess that Michelangelo might move around the island and try and come back in this other direction. So, and same for the Scharnhorst too. He looks like he's moving out and around as well. And yep, we called it. There's the Michelangelo. So if we can or can't pick him up again, we'll send torps and or bullets. Looks like we can send some bullets. We'll try and turn away from that salvo that he sent. Yep, not too bad. And right, so these take a little bit of time to get there, right, since it's a long distance, so we'll send them, and you just have to predict that he's going to run out of patience, right? He's not going to sit there and wait. So we'll send the torps with the assumption that he's going to eventually push forward and try and pull around the corner. And then, yep, here comes the Scharnhorst, right? So he might actually turn in. It's tough to tell. But we'll send a second rack for Michelangelo. And then we always have port side as well, so we could turn away and send some more. Let's see how this goes here. I'm more curious, right? Our destroyer's out there spotting him and sending torpedoes himself, so now we get picked up by the Michelangelo. So let's see how our torpedoes are doing over there. Looking pretty good. And we get the kill there. So up to 2, so 2 of 3 kills here. Yogomo gets himself spotted, right? This destroyer on our team pushed into him. So we will help get rid of him. And that works out pretty good as well. He did get the devastating strike on the Atlantico though. But yep, up to 3 kills now. And at this point, I'm assuming that, like, I was kind of hoping that our torpedoes would hit that Shornhurst, right? But I'm assuming that my battleship that's out there on the sea flank, who has full health right now, can manage a very weak Shornhurst, right? So I'm already leaving the area, right? I'm already on my way to help support over at A. There are 4 remaining battleships over at A, and I want a piece of that since we are a torpedo boat, and that's how we do damage. Battleships are my favorite target, right? So we'll shoot at this Shornhurst while he's still in range just to help. There's nothing else we can do anyway. But yeah, like if he were to get out of range, I'd be done, and I would hopefully rely on my my battleship that's out there to be able to finish him off, right? Just don't ram him, please. Don't ram him. Alright, sent one last salvo. See if we get anything out of that. And he rammed him. Okay, great. Yeah. Almost full health battleship. That was a healthy sacrifice for the other team, that's for sure. But now they're both dead. We did all we could, guys. We did all we could. Alright, so yeah, Massachusetts, he looks like he's going to want to push into the zone here. He'll push into A. So we'll send some torpedoes through there. Then I'm going to send them at where as many get through the zone as possible, right? I'm not going to send right on the suggested lines for these guys. Right, we want as many torpedoes going all the way through as we can. Otherwise, we're just shooting half of these into the islands. We'll space them out a little bit. And yeah, we've got our destroyer here. You know, I'm sure he's going to block 1 or 2, right? Hopefully he just doesn't go full broadside and take a whole rack, but whatever. We've got plenty. We're sending him. Yeah, he takes 1 up the butt, right up Main Street. And yeah, I'm sending all of these through, right? So I'm making the assumption that Massachusetts might want to stick it out and try and cap that zone, so he may slow down and or change course. So we'll take advantage of that. And then yeah, we've got good concealment, right? So 9.5 kilometer concealment, so we don't have to worry about getting spotted here unless we fire our guns. Which might, you know, is totally doable here because he's looking the other way, right? We could risk the cheap shots here to try and get some defend banners and trigger some fires. Not a bad idea either. But he's already got fires going, everybody else is shooting him, so maybe we shoot at the Veneto, as it looks like he's probably the one getting the capture right now. And yeah, sure enough, we get 3 defends there, so he had a big chunk of it, and the fire. So that'll be nice if he damage cons that and we get a torpedo hit, but it looks like he's letting it burn for the time being. And we'll see what this Massachusetts wants to do. I'm going to stop firing guns so we go unspotted, right? We'll probably get at least 1 or 2 torp hits on the Veneto. And then our next customer is going to be the Iowa coming through as well. Oh man, 1? Okay, there we go, 2. Okay. It's like, did we really only get 1? Alright, 107,000 damage we are up to now with 3 kills. So Kraken is still in play and lots of damage still out there also. And yeah, I'm going to send some more torps through the zone here. We got both racks on this side ready. They did end up getting the zone capped just because they've got so many people in there. And then we'll be careful about firing our guns on battleships, right? Like, 1 or 2 salvos from these guys can take you out if you're angled poorly, right? And then even if you're not, like, sometimes they can hit your citadel through your deck or like through the rear, right? It hurts, right? So we'll be careful, right? You can always keep an eye on, like, see when they fire their guns, right? And who they're looking at, and then maybe draw some fire. So we kind of do that here. But yeah, if he's gonna like hyper focus on the battleship that's out in front of him, right? We can take advantage of that and get some shots off on him. Yeah, he does use the rear turret on us there. We'll send some torps for him. Like I said, at that kind of range, it's always tough to get those hits, right? So you got to rely on either taking a guess. If he adjusts course, you know, we're going to fire short with the assumption maybe he'll adjust course. And you get 2 racks, too, so you could always fire 1 you know, along the suggested line and then fire one short and kind of see how that goes. But yeah, at that range, this is a lot of time for him to be able to change course. So we kind of mix it up when we fire those torpedoes. But yeah, we get the final hit on the Veneto and finish him off. And then we've got somebody on fire, Massachusetts here, so we're getting high caliber and Confederate there. And then those torpedoes are looking pretty good. So let's see, where's the Navarin, right? So I'm going to just assume that we're going to be able to get those hits, right? So we're going to start pursuing the Navarin and kind of take a guess where he might go. It looks like he's dealing with, he probably ran aground here, so I'm just going to send some both ways. And then, yep, we're going to get that torpedo hit. So that should finish him off. Actually, two look like they'll hit, but I think it might only take one with how much damage we do with these. Yep, so that gives us the Kraken. And there is one contestant left. So now it's, you know, 4-on-1. We're way up on points, right? We can be super duper aggressive, just go in and YOLO push into him, right? But yes, in reality, where you would want to keep your distance from a Navarin, right? Any sort of secondary battery-focused ship, albeit a cruiser or battleship, right? I tend to try to keep my distance from those guys when I'm in one of these, when I'm in the Takahashi. But here now at this point, doesn't matter. We can push in on him and see if we can pick up the 6-pack. And then, yeah, I'm even going to fire my guns, right? Like, let's get as much... We're at 900 points for the match, right? Like, we're either going to kill him or win on points. And if we die, it's not going to matter. We're still going to have the game won. Right, as long as somebody survives. So I'm moving out just to try and get torpedoes, right? So we're giving up a little bit of angle to do this, right? So he's going to smack us pretty good. We'll damage con the engine damage and use our last heal to get a little bit of that back. And then, yeah, it looks like we're going to get a torp hit on him here. That might be enough to finish him. These are pretty hefty torpedoes, right? So, boosh, there he goes. That gives us a 6-pack. We'll take a look at the leaderboard, and then, yeah, we'll go through the commander build as well. 182,000 damage. Almost broke the 200k mark. We'll get one of those games one of these days, right? Walked away with a good chunk of silver as well. Yeah, what was that? Dev Strike, First Strike, High Caliber, and Kraken, and Confederate. Yeah, good chunk of medals there. We did pop over the 3,000 XP mark. That is always a sign of a good game, right? 3,200 XP there. Puts us at the top of the leaderboard. We'll take that action. And we'll see what the economy tab looks like as well here, just to see. I think I got a GG from this guy. Yeah, 288,000, right? That's with premium, right? So we're in a tier 8 game. Like, if we didn't have premium, we still would have walked away with some credits there. It's kind of nice. It's not impossible to earn silver, right? But I'm using aiming system mod, propulsion mod. You could go steering gears there, right? But and then concealment, of course. Highly recommend that. And then, yeah, torpedo launchers mod here. And then I'm using the epic mod to get a little bit faster reload for every 30,000 damage we get. Probably, I might equip the legendary mod on there too, just because I've been playing these ships so much. But yeah, this is the Matsuji Aijun, like I'm sure I'm butchering his name, right? But this is the free commander, right? You can buy him for Global X, or for Commander XP, and then, yeah, I'm using cruiser detectability and space fishy for more torpedo speed for my inspirations. We'll see if we mix that up or not later, right? But yeah, speed is my weapon. The base trait, torp speed and cruiser movement speed, right? And then I'm everything torpedoes. So torpedo speed here, torpedo range here, and detectability, right? So concealment here, just because there is no torpedo option for the third row there. And then reload time for the last row. And then, of course, we're using killing distance, right? This is a somewhat unique-ish perk, right? There's a couple other commanders out there that have killing distance, right? But the big thing here is the torpedo detectability, right? Minus 200 meters. A little bit more range is nice too. And then the torpedoes deal more damage the further out they travel. That's one perk that I'm a little like unclear on, right? So like I wish it was, if it's based on like percentage of travel, right? So you're doing, it's up to 20% more damage, but when we've built into the torpedoes so much, we've also built into range too. So does that mean, it's got to get all the way out, right? I wish it was like set amounts, like this many kilometers, it's 5% more, this many kilometers, it's 10%, right? And until you get up to 20%, right? Instead of, it's probably percentage based. So since we have longer range torpedoes, it probably takes further out to get that extra damage, but it is what it is. I'd still use it for the torpedo concealment, right? But thank you guys so much for watching my video all the way through. Please make sure you are following the channel. We are doing Legends videos pretty much every day. So see you next time.